Now, Fiat is well known for producing chic cars like the Fiat 500, but a lot like when people go to Toyota and buy a Prius if they want to be eco-conscious, a lot of people do that with the Fiat 500 when they want to be stylish. But forget about all that, because today we've got the Fiat Fullback pickup truck, the brand's first ever pickup truck, but they're not starting from nothing, because this is essentially just a rebadged Mitsubishi L200 with a few minor changes, of course. But that also means competition from similar rivals like the Ford Ranger, the Volkswagen Amarok, Nissan Navara and Toyota Hilux. But just because it's a pickup truck doesn't necessarily mean it's removed from the whole style thing. Remember, a lot of company car drivers opt for a well-spec'd pickup truck due to the tax benefits. AKA you can save thousands of pounds going for a well-spec'd one of these instead of a lavish saloon. So should you go for something like a Fiat Fullback instead of a Volkswagen Passat or Mercedes C-Class? Or is that taking it a bit far? So when it comes to pickup trucks, they usually fall into one of two categories. They either look more like a van or more like a car. Now the Fullback sort of sits in the middle. I mean, if anything, I'd say a bit like the L200, it does sway more towards a van-like interior. Especially, I mean, even when it comes to storage solutions like these cup holders down here, they're just kind of moulded a bit like a van. But if you're after a workhorse, then these hardware and materials won't really be a problem. They'll be ideal, if anything. Now, Fiat has tried to get a leg up on its L200 competition by offering its entry-level SX model as an equivalent to, say, a mid-range L200 Titan. Of course, it's all relative price-wise, but we'll come back to that in a bit. That does mean, though, that all Fullback models are double cab, and they come with a leather-wrapped steering wheel, climate control, hill hold assist, DAB radio, Bluetooth, and cruise control. Our flagship LX model's got some extra safety perks too, like lane departure warning, and we've also got a reversing camera, which is particularly useful in a vehicle this long. We've also got these lovely leather seats and this touchscreen which has sat-nav. But this touchscreen is incredibly fiddly and difficult to use. I mean, I went to connect my phone for Bluetooth earlier and just ended up giving up. Plenty of space on offer though. There's a handle here, there's loads of knee room, there's loads of elbow room, there's loads of leg room, and there's loads of headroom. Now, as the Fullback is a double cab, you've got enough space for 3 passengers back here, side by side. Now, you've actually got plenty of leg room, you've got just enough headroom to keep most comfortable. You've got an armrest on the door to get comfortable, you've got an armrest in the centre with 2 cup holders, and you've got decent sized door bins. Now, I think my only criticism back here really is the fact that your knees sit quite high, but that's a rather common feature of quite a few pickups. But what about the low bed? Well, you open it with this key here, you hear it click open, and you get this large hydraulic lid and this door that drops down. Now this opens up to 1900 litres of storage, and this low bed can actually take just over a tonne of cargo. Now measurement wise, it's about 1.5 metres square, which will easily swallow a standard Euro pallet. It's also so you can just about fit Danny DeVito that way and that way. So, there's just one engine available, and it's a 2.4 litre diesel engine, the same as the one in the L200, and there's 2 power outputs. There's 148 brake horsepower and 178 brake horsepower, and it's the punchier 178 brake horsepower model you want to go for. I mean, it's got more torque, it's got a greater towing capacity, 3.1 tonnes in fact, and well, it actually claims to retain the same fuel economy as the lower power model at 40.9 miles per gallon, as long as you go for this 6-speed manual gearbox. Now, we have actually been getting an average of around 39 miles per gallon, which is pretty impressive. Now, the first thing you notice when driving the bulky Fullback is that it doesn't do delicate or subtle very well, a bit like the L200. It's a bit like, I don't know, it's a bit like asking a bodybuilder to thread a needle. It bounces and crashes over bumps and never really feels settled. That is until you whack some sandbags or boulders on its back. And that's just it really. The Fullback is more at ease when you're asking more of it and you've got it loaded up. And for many people, that'll be fine. But for those who are after that, well, for those who are looking to emulate that high-end luxury saloon feel, you are going to be a bit disappointed. You're much better going for something like a Volkswagen Amarok or even a Nissan Navara. Now, if you change it from two-wheel drive mode to four-wheel drive mode, the Fullback is an absolute beast. I mean, 205mm of ground clearance, it'll pretty much stick to anything, mud or snow, and if things get really apocalyptic, you can even lock the centre differential in low range mode. Those conscious of CO2 figures should note that the 148 brake horsepower and the 178 brake horsepower model actually carry the same 37% BIK taxation rate, even though the 178 brake horsepower model emits slightly more at 186 grams per kilometre. But what about price? Well, the Fullback starts from £26,373. Now that's considerably more expensive than the entry-level L200 at £17,999. But then you've got to look at the L200 Titan comparison. But still, the Fullback's considerably more expensive than it, around £5,000 in fact. I mean, there's no doubt that the Fullback is a capable, great pickup truck. I mean, there's no two ways about it. But it pitches itself as an extension of the fashionable Fiat brand, and yeah, that's just a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, it's not lavish enough to compete with the Amarok, and it's not different enough to massively stand out from the L200. But what do you think of the Fiat Fullback? Let us know in the comments section below, and if you'd like to watch a video of one of its rivals, then click at the top of the screen. If you'd like to browse prices, then click in the bottom right of the screen, and of course, if you haven't subscribed already, then make sure you click that subscribe button.